Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today's video is about powdery fragrances or fragrances that have a main accord of powdery in them. And this is a request from a viewer. So let's jump in. I've got 14 from my collection to share with you. Just a quick note, I'd love for you to share your favorite powder fragrances or powdery fragrances in the comments. Listen, there's no way for a reviewer of any kind to have all the fragrances in any category out there. If you are deep into the fragrance world or you've been collecting for a while, you know it's never ending, the collection process, the culling process. You learn what you like and you move items in and out of your collection, and you just can't have them all. So these are the 14 from my collection that I wanted to share with you. But let's get to it. The first one that I pulled is Bella Rosa from Oscar de la Renta. People talk about this being potentially similar to Delina from Parfums de Marly. I think there are some similarities, but it's not a dupe. And this is mainly a rose forward fragrance, but it does have a heavy powdery accord in it that I think is just lovely. It's a Chypre floral, and my husband loves this on me. It's a very beautiful feminine fragrance. There's also some mandarin orange. There is jasmine and orris. It's just a nice, pretty fragrance. It doesn't last the longest. I would say maybe about 4 hours or so, and then you have to reapply. But it's so pretty and very reasonably priced. It's worth getting if you're into those feminine floral fragrances. Oscar de la Renta, Bella Rosa. Next is Jivago Le Cadeau, or the gift, and it comes like this. It's like an Ice Queen or Ice Kingdom or Winter Kingdom kind of bottle. Really interesting, from Jivago. This is a nice light fragrance. It's mostly musky, but it has a strong powder accord in there as well. There's a peach note at the top, a little bit of basil, and then it's also rosy. There's some jasmine in the middle, and you get vanilla and amber and musk in the base. This is a nice sort of closer to the skin fragrance. It projects when you first put it on, and then it kind of settles down into this nice little musky powdery cloud around you with a little bit of fruity floral kind of thing going on. Next is a fragrance that everyone recognizes for being one of the sort of old school powdery fragrances. Habanita from Molinard. This is a woody fragrance with a strong powder accord. It hits you right away and envelops you. This, ladies can pull this off. It does have some femininity to it, but it also has a little bit of masculinity for those of you that aren't afraid to sort of mix that up on you. This is a reformulated bottle. I love the 3D relief bottle here, and I'd love to get my hands on an original version of this. It's a powder bomb. That's what you get when you wear this. So you really need to be in the mood to smell like a powder puff. There are some masculine notes in here, as well as some feminine notes. So it's an interestingly balanced fragrance. You need to be in the mood to wear this, or it will wear you. It's one of those. It's pretty strong. It's got some vetiver, heliotrope, jasmine, vanilla, sandalwood, patchouli, oak moss. Has a musk note in it, some nutmeg. So it's like equal parts, and it has some sea salt too. Equal parts like kitchen spicy and floral and tropical and powdery all at the same time, but not for everyone. Not a safe blind buy at all, but really nice. The other two I mentioned are probably safe blind buys. Next is Beyond Romance. This one took me by surprise. I purchased it just based on good reviews and wish I had purchased the larger bottle. Really a cool fragrance, so womanly. And it has a little bit of playfulness, like on the girly side as well. It's a floral woody musk, and it has this amazing raspberry note on the opening, other citrus notes, and then you get rose in the middle, and this lovely vanilla, cashmerean, musky, powdery type of thing going on that just envelops you in like this cloud of powdery femininity. I really love this. This is a sleeper. I don't know why more people aren't talking about this. And if you get this and you like feminine fragrances and you like to smell like raspberry and powder and florals. Get yourself the big bottle while you can. Love this frosted bottle too. Beyond Romance. Next is one that arguably is like the queen of powder fragrances. The top accord on this one is Powdery, and it comes in a series of 3. Junoon from Al Haramain. Boy, is this a powder bomb. Whoo! It is, when it opens up, almost like a punch in your face of baby powder, and it's super strong. One that you would want to spray maybe once, twice, 3 times if you're feeling particularly daring or it's the cold of winter. Otherwise, you will knock some folks out. It has a nice rose accord in here as well. It has vanilla to round it out. It is a really gorgeous feminine fragrance. It also comes as Junoon Rose, and then there's a noir version. The noir version isn't quite as powdery. This regular Junoon and the Junoon Rose are powder bombs. Nice musk in here as well. Tonka bean, a little bit of iris. This is a gorgeous fragrance. Absolutely gorgeous. You need to love powder because you will be enveloped in a cloud of powder when you put on Junoon from Al Haramain. Next is Shalimar Souffle Intense or Souffle Intense. Oh, what a pretty fragrance. One that I can't stop reaching for when I dig around in my bottles and just want something to sniff. It has citrus at the top, this lovely lemon note that is kind of intoxicating if you're into like a powdery lemon. This is what I was hoping Lemon Island from Atelier Colognes would smell like, and it didn't, and I was upset about it. That one smells completely different. I ended up not loving that enough to get a full bottle. It's okay. This one here I think is gorgeous. So you get that citrus at the top, orange blossom and jasmine in the middle, and then you're just enveloped with this lovely vanilla, musky, powdery, lemony base that is just delightful. I really like this. It's not for everyone. In fact, you'll see some reviewers just kind of hating on this because it doesn't work for them, and that's fine. Not everything works for everyone. This is why you listen to reviews, to get different ideas, but I happen to think that this is a beauty. Satine from Lalique. A lot of people aren't talking about this one. This is a lighter, close to the skin fragrance. The top accord here is vanilla, but it's closely followed by powder. This is gorgeous for a bedtime fragrance, for an intimate, cozy, night on the couch watching movies kind of fragrance. Great work fragrance if you want to smell feminine and pretty, but you don't want to offend others. There's a little bit of woodiness in this, but for the most part, it is a highly, to me, feminine, powdery fragrance, but really soft. Top note is heliotrope, which comes through right away. Some gardenia and jasmine. You get tonka bean and vanilla in the middle, and some patchouli in the base. This is, to me, a hidden gem. People aren't talking about this. It's really quite pretty, very subtle. This is a dainty fragrance. This is not one that I would suggest purchasing for people who want powerhouse fragrances that last all day. This will last you, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 hours or so, maybe 6, but close to the skin. Very pretty. Satine, Lalique. Let's talk about L'Instant. This is the Eau de Parfum concentration from Guerlain. What a nice surprise this one was. I would call this a fruity fragrance that's also quite powdery, at least to me. It's got mandarin orange and red apple and bergamot at the top. It opens really fruity, citrusy, bright. And then it settles into this nice floral, has a little bit of iris in it. So it's both at the same time warm with cold edges, if that makes sense. There's something a little bit slightly lipsticky cold in this. It has a heart of juicy fruit also. Vanilla, amber, benzoin, musk in the base. This is gorgeous. I need to wear this more often. I forget that I have this in my collection, not because it's not beautiful, but because I have a lot of these bee bottles from Guerlain, and then it's hard to pick them out sort of from the crowd, you know, when you're looking for something to wear. But really pretty, lovely powder fragrance. Definitely recommend. A fun fragrance that hasn't really made the rounds on YouTube is 007 Eon Productions. And this is the one in the pink bottle. There's one in a black bottle. And I want to, is there a purple one also? I'm not sure. But this has top notes of champagne and raspberry. It opens bright, effervescent, and fun, and quickly settles into this really sort of juicy, floral, powdery fragrance. Heavy on the powder here. I think this is very feminine. It's got a blackberry note, a little bit of gardenia. It says it has a leather. I don't pick that up at all, but I do pick up the vanilla, the sandalwood, the musk in the base really lightly, but it's mostly like a fruity, powdery, fun fragrance. And guys, I got this for a ridiculously low price, somewhere in the $12 to $13 US range. It's hard to beat that for this kind of fragrance. I highly recommend grabbing this if you're into feminine fragrances. Does it last the longest? No. But at that price point, I'm happy to reapply midday. In fact, this lasted, I think, probably 5 to 6-ish hours, which is not that bad. And then I had to reapply. 007. When was the last time you saw this? This is Bijan Nude, which is a flanker to Bijan, which looks exactly the same except it's in a clear bottle versus this frosted nude bottle here. Wow is all I have to say about this one. You have to be in the mood to wear this. It's a lot like Nude by Bill Blass. This has aldehydes, iris, a white chocolate note, musk. There's rose in here, cedar. This is also very powdery in a dry way. In a dry way like that Nude Bill Blass desert delight kind of way. You have to be in the mood, but it's such an interesting fragrance, unique. If you wear this, you won't smell like anyone else. It's very powerful. A few sprays will last you quite a while. Bijan Nude. This next one is near and dear to my heart, which is where I'm holding it. It holds a special place for me because it is one of the most beautiful fragrances I've ever smelled. I fell in love with this at first sniff. It is Fiori from Giorgio Armani. This is mostly a rose and citrus fragrance, very fruity and powdery. It also has this beautiful vanilla accord, so highly feminine, not in a mature way, in a womanly way, not little girl. There's like in the middle, that beautiful like blossoming woman stage. So pretty. This is one of those fragrances that when you smell it, you want to smell like it for the rest of your life. It's so darn beautiful. Top notes are black currant and green mandarin, and in the middle you get this gorgeous rose neroli mixture. So it's rose with citrus, and then that vanilla in the base, all the while being lovely, powdery, delightful, feminine, pretty, just gorgeous. This bottle too. The bottle is how this smells on you. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Get your hands on Fiori. There's nothing like it. I haven't smelled anything else like this, my opinion. Maybe you have. If you have, let us know in the comments. Making the rounds here on YouTube lately is Montblanc Signature. Ooh. Ooh, ooh. Skies open up. This is beautiful. It has this gorgeous peony note in the middle. I love a good juicy, I call it juicy. Maybe other people wouldn't refer to peony as juicy, but when it's done well, there's something about it that's so like succulent and juicy to me. Peony note in the middle. Yes, it's a flower. Oh, so pretty. This is powder done right. Elegant powder. It has at the top a clementine note. Some people talk about this smelling like lemon meringue or something like that. I can see that, but I think it's mostly like a fruity floral kind of thing. It has magnolia, ylang-ylang, and peony in the middle. The peony stands out to me so beautifully. A nice, fruity, musky, powdery, gorgeous feminine fragrance, and I love the bottle too. It's hard to go wrong with this one, you guys. This is mass appealing. A lot of people like this. I haven't heard anyone complain and say that they don't like this. Montblanc Signature. This next one, you guys, this is for the grown and sexy. And I'm bringing you one from the past. Tocade from Rochas. Yes, the bottle is super duper circus goofy. Okay, let's get past that. This is lovely. It's not super powdery like some of the other fragrances, but it has enough powder that I wanted to include it in this video. And I want you to try this. This is nice. If you're into grown and sexy fragrances, I had to spray it again. This opens with citrus and green notes, but right away you get vanilla, you get musk, and you get this powder through line that starts right from the top when it opens and continues through to the base as almost like this underlying structure for this fragrance. There's rose in the middle that I get, a little bit of iris, some orchid, and then patchouli, vanilla, amber in the base, a little cedar. But there's something really sophisticated about this that's hard to describe in words. It's different than other fragrances. It's almost like a green vanilla meets rosy, musky fragrance. If you smash all of that up, you might get something like Tocade. Very womanly, very pleasant, but not in the usual ways. Not fruity, not super floral, because it's got that like green counterbalance in it. This is a unique and very nice fragrance. The last fragrance I'm going to talk with you about is undeniably a powder bomb, and so are the sisters of this fragrance in the lineup. It is Narciso by Narciso Rodriguez. This is gorgeous. I know some people are not that into this because it's so strong. It's very, very much like a beast mode kind of fragrance. There's rouge in this line as well. There's poudre, there's ombre, and I think that's it. And I have the EDP version of all four. Maybe there's another one, I don't know. If you know, drop it in the comments. But listen, you guys, this fragrance here is nearly headache inducing because it's so much of everything that it is. In fact, just sniffing it activates like the headachy part of my brain, but it also activates the pleasure centers because I love everything about this at the same time that it begins to give me a little bit of a headache. It is this powerful gardenia at the top, a little bit of white rose, but mostly like a heavy, gorgeous, full, round, beautiful gardenia, immediately accompanied by musk and powder all the way through this fragrance. It comes on, it's nearly suffocating, it's so strong, and I love every second of this. It has a musk in the middle and then cedar and vetiver in the base. If you want something a little bit leaning more towards the typical feminine side, maybe go for rouge, which is the one in the red bottle, or the poudre, which is a powder bomb as well. But this one here is a musky powder explosion supported by this heavy, gorgeous gardenia note that I can't get enough of. I love to sniff this. I love to smell like this. I love this. And I love all of the ones in this line. So this last one represents really the 4 fragrances that are part of this line. Those are my 14 powder fragrances that I wanted to share with you. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which are your favorite powder fragrances? Share here with your YouTube friends so that we can go fill our carts with all of those wonderful perfumes. You all have a fabulous day, and I appreciate you. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Take care, my friends.